October 15, 2022. Marcus Giovanni here. Candi Cde Baca. This letter, especially Lisa Calderon running for mayor, when you look at the smoke and mirror of where these people go and how they pad their resumes, working 3 months here, 4 months over here. We're going to create this nonpartisan group over here, but they're really all Democrats. This letter here talks about why Candi Cde Baca needs to be replaced as fast as you can, because she's turned her streets, if you look at her district, she's turned her street into a third world country, and everybody knows it. And when she fights for, they come up with these tags like they mean something, and everything that these people put together is now negative keywords. This is what happens in my metaverse and other people's metaverses that they can't control. And what they think their words mean are now pattern matched by artificial intelligence by their actions. And so if I was in front of a judge, I could show the judge some pretty awesome stuff on how I'm going to turn the Denver district courts into the first digital metaverse court system in the entire world. And you can't get doing that if you don't know how to build that. And see, I don't need to hire anybody, I already built it. But since the media and them are all in cahoots with each other, with their noses up each other's hole, walking away with their faces smelling like shit when they walk up to us all, we can smell it as soon as they open their mouth. And when you understand how, they're fighting for the Fair Elections Fund, which was a citizens-led grassroots, here's the negative keywords, grassroots effort to manipulate the election system to have taxpayers now pay for their illegitimate government, which is partisanship for the last 60 years. Are you following? This is what artificial intelligence is trying to follow. And anybody that's in deep mind, or anybody that's think they know anything, that's within, or anybody within the city and county of Denver, that if you hold any worth of who you are, now's the time to go tell your bosses that I'm right and all these people are wrong, and Denver's about to take the biggest social hit than any city, which will be followed by the state, when all these people keep on pushing the same narrative bullshit. See, Denver's non-political. It's not non-partisan. There's a difference. Non-partisan means, look at all the nonprofits that are nonprofits, but that are claiming 501(c), and yet they're all Democratic operatives. We just showed law enforcement, a group of people, what to look for and what to do. Because we have to give our police, especially when these people want to defund the police. Mayor Hancock, Flynn, Councilman Flynn, defund fair elections instead of police. See, the fair elections isn't fair. And especially Lisa Calderon didn't even sign up for it because she's trying to play a whoop-de-woo. So when you follow the paper trail and what these people do, they're pretty much fact. How's that? Better word. Screwed. Bent. Not a digital bent by artificial intelligence. Marcus Giovanni, that means something different. And those noises you hear in my refrigerator, my little bar refrigerator, used to have it in a bar, still got it, makes all kinds of noises, but it's internal. But, and when you read the letter, it bloviates nothing but everything they do, and taking away now tax people's Look at, rather than robbing a fund designed to help elect people, folks, it's not gonna, that money, you're gonna see people that vote for that, what they're doing is, what they did was, the have-nots, and these people got together because they didn't explain it right to people. But it's not fair. Not when you got Kelly, Miss Bloviated Queen. It's the first women's club running for mayor. Lisa Herod, who has no artificial intelligence, has already indexed her, has no allegiance to Colorado voters or Denver voters while running for 2 elections. You can't, you can tell just by that. Anybody knows with common sense. How do you give your allegiance to one group of people over the other when you're deceiving them both? So people are going to vote for you for mayor as you're already somebody else running already another office. How's that going to happen? How does that happen? So when you think about how these folks come up with laws and fees to rob us all, to pay for all their little games and all their little bullshit stuff that never gets fixed. Have you ever noticed it? Nothing gets fixed, but yet the money's getting spent somewhere. This is what happens when you have a kleptocracy government. And on April 4, if we don't vote any other way but non-political, and the only citizens candidate's been the same candidate for 4 elections as me, I know I'm not the best candidate. I'm the only candidate. I don't want to be mayor. I need to be mayor. Denver don't want to vote a female mayor. They need to vote a male because that's what I am. Man. My initials are Man G. So folks, what I'm pretty much doing now is we're just fine-tuning the foolishness of these people, because when you think about the people that would never, if you look at the past, people like that come in that will never raise money, or not enough money to where, like Hancock raised $1 million. Wow, he had to have a war chest. They probably didn't even spend that money. It just goes to another war chest that they can go fund some other people and they can take that money. Well, now all these people's emails, all their text messages. You know, Michael Hancock got a good awakening when those text messages showed up. And see, I didn't. To me, I'll be honest, man. You got to think of the black man. I'm West Nigerian, so anybody wants to talk about it, I've come from the Yoruba tribe. Yoruba. I say tomato, you say tomato, and until I hear a true West Nigerian telling me what our tribe is, then I'll go with what that is. But for right now, I'm just freestyling, using everything I can, alternative names, backwards, forwards, reverse engineered speech. That's amazing, folks, and that's what you're seeing now. Is you're watching people that are shadowing. See, Lisa Calderon has been shadowing me for quite some time, coming up with these ideas. Her and hashtag Believe Ian. He's another troll bitch. See, we're designing this video game called Democracy Sluts. It will be the most violent, immersive reality game you ever seen in your life. We're already banned in 36 countries and we haven't even released it yet. So we already know. But in this video game, what people don't understand, we also have a movie called socialgulag.com. See, for me, folks, I don't plan to be mayor because I already know what's coming. And so that's why it doesn't hurt my feelings. People call me names. I go out and I earn every knock on that door that I've been knocking on doors for 3 elections. That means that just by taking signatures that I've handed in, I've talked to over 4,000 people. So when you think about those 4,000 people that I've had to sign my petitions, I've had lengthy conversation with them. And In 2015 was the only time I got on the ballot, and yet they didn't have a Denver mayoral debate. Where was Lisa? Where was Leslie? Where was Debbie? Where was Tammy Dore? Where was Kelly? Where were the four trolls? The First Women Club. They actually suffer from what's called now in the social psychology industry that I belong into. Just because I don't hang out with you doctors don't mean I can't blow you doctors away when it comes to digital content. I gotta be careful what I say because people could twist it. But I got it all down, folks. I know everything these people are gonna say before they say it. That's artificial intelligence. We use object-oriented programming with voice embedded latent prints to find anybody we want, any conversation we want. Why? Because depending on who you are, you're on a list. All politicians are on a list. All candidates are on a list. They know everything about everything. Period. That's why I go where as high as I go. Because I'm pretty pure, folks. As though I talk bad, it's not the way I talk. I just repeating what other people are saying, because what happens is artificial intelligence knows that's not me. When I get angry, I do. Everybody does. And boy, I'm a heavy metal singer. What do you expect? From the 80s. Okay? Dude looks like a lady. Anyways, that's not how that song goes, but a little early in the morning to be hitting Stephen Baby's notes. I sure miss Aerosmith. They're the best band in the world to me. I still think Yngwie's the best guitarist in the world. Kristen Pellettieri's second. Tony McAlpine's third. And Eddie Van Halen. He's the best for Eddie Van Halen. There's nobody like him. So, we went through technical, Paganini, Bach, Beethoven type music, neoclassical, to the number one rocker, Eddie Van Halen. His sound, his style, he created all this. And he liked Jimi Hendrix. Anyways, when you take a look at all these proposed budgets and, how much the election funds is $2 million, is 8% of the 21st. God, who wrote this? Lisa Calderon or Candi Cde Baca? Because the person that wrote it is the girl that's on the top of the page, and this is why she got fired. This is allegedly, and she's using it. She was Candy's chief of staff. No, she tried to be Candy's mom and try to tell Candy what to do, and nobody tells Candy what to do. Period. And unfortunately, Candy's a socialist. It kind of strange, because when you think about her 5 generations, which don't even mean nothing in the digital world, it means something in her world. Of course it does. I don't have 5 generations of nothing. I have 1 generation. And that's just me and my kids, because I was adopted, so I never had. So I'll tell my adopted stories in a white family, and let me hear all these people talk about white privilege. Let me hear all these people talk about racism. I've seen racism. I'll match my racism and bigot stories to any of you people standing up in line, especially you women that have to use the First Women's Club. I indexed that, folks. Are you listening to me, Lisa? Leslie? Oh, come on, girls. This is how we do it. I'm going to crush you digitally. You're not even going to have careers when this is over, because people are going to wake up and they're going to go, oh my God. You mean Giovanni was right? Everything he was saying was right? That spick? That indigenous Indian piece of shit? This is what they think of me. And see, I don't think that way of them. I just show them what they are. And their own words, their own actions, their own locations are going to do them in. starting on January 1. I've been giving these people warning for 12 years. And they still been doing the same fucking thing over and over and over again. Over and over and over again. Over and over and over again. When you gonna learn, you can't go over again. But man, when you think about the words these people use to describe inert actions, they're all talk. And in my world, in the digital world, in the metaverse, action speak louder than words. In the mortal world, we already know this. But let me tell you how it works in the digital world, especially you IT people that aren't telling your bosses the truth because you don't know yourselves, which makes you outdated information technology, bloviated, humble brag, and wizards of nothing. And see, we got them indexed. I mean, you can go and find out how the employees of the city and county of Denver. And when you think about the ones in the technology department, information technology services, I could fire the top 3 bosses, put the people sitting next to them who's doing all the work in their positions, take the money that we were paying them, right? Give those people raises. Take the money that's left over that we were paying those 3 people because now I can do that. And every mayor that comes afterward will have to know to do what I do. We're setting precedents on the way that we form all of our documentation. We're going to have a standard of documentations. We're going to bring in companies like Wikipedia, Ballotpedia, and all these third-party, out-of-city, out-of-state encyclopedia bullshit story writers, and we're going to hold them accountable. Because this is it. This is the iron fist, man. I'm coming in. I'm smashing doors. But my people are going to just unlock it for me so we just walk in. But if I have to smash the door, I will. Believe me, folks. You haven't seen me. You don't even know me because you don't want to know me because you're scared. The ones that don't know me. But there are people that do know me. They're not following me. We're not doing little fake parties because we've seen all those parties before with Ian Tafoya. Hashtag Ian Tafoya. Hashtag Kelly J. Brown. Hashtag. And when you understand the handle, which we call retail social symbols, but now we waited for them to come out with a new handle. And all of us, our handle, MarcusGiovanni.com is a handle. At Marcus Giovanni is a handle. I verify handles, folks. That's what I do for a living. You want me to say that again? I verify hashtags. I verify people. That's my job. I own GoogleBusinessDeveloper.com. Oh, boy, that felt good saying that. And see, I didn't need to be mayor to help clear all the 60 years of bullshit content from media, ABC, CBS, NBC, Westward, DenverGov.org, frickin' Colorado Politics, Denver Post, the Republic, the Gazette, the Denver Gazette. All those administrators are all indexed. Denver Post, you know, it's really crazy about Denver Post because one of the investment firm that controls that, I like their style. I don't understand how the people that work there can call them names and they still have the people, and yet people say that they're Republicans, but yet they let Democrat content still rule the airwaves and leaving out the other 2/3 of the citizens of Denver because we are all Denver. So by creating the Speer Amendment by Robert W. Speer on May 17, 2016, we were able to create a non-political government where economy and services is our purpose, our sole purpose. And look what's happening. We're paying for bags. No other city in the Denver's in Colorado are paying for bags. See, Denver wants to humble brag. Yeah, and they keep paying it. It's called nickel and diamond. Now they're dime bagging you. But this is what happens when you have a kleptocracy government that has built its entire foundation, its entire last 60 years on a lie by manipulating the Speer Amendment. The most loved mayor who was a Democrat who saw back in 1913 what a partisan government would do. And look where we're at, folks, 60 years from the time they took it over in 1963. See, when beloved Speer went non-political, created the citizens' government, the Democrats hated him. They loathed him. And the only reason why they couldn't destroy him all the way is because people, the citizens, loved him. And so, just like Al Qaeda and other terrorists who have the patience to do what they got to do to move their ideologies forward, so does the Denver Democrats and their index. And so now what happened in 2011, I set all the perimeters. That's what I do for a living. I was asked to help by some old professors. They're dead now. They died of COVID. There were Denver University guys that got booted out by the woke movement that was going on, that's always gone on, and it continues to go on until Denver voters realize that Denver's non-political. And you 18 and 28 and 38-year-olds, we're all indexed every 10 years. Your first index starts when you're 18. There ain't going to be much because you didn't do anything. And your past of being a minor doesn't uphold into the adult world, adult sandbox. You went from the kiddie sandbox to now you're in the adult sandbox with all the other adults. And now you have 10 years to get to 28 years old. 10 years. And it's how you document those 10 years. Is it going to be just party, 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 party? You never go anywhere, just party, party, party. You go to school, party, go to school, eat dinner, go to a couple movies, go party. You know, or are you a person that goes hiking and goes to the zoo and takes pictures of everything and videos of everything? That's awesome. That's what you're supposed to do. Because you have a digital recording of your whole life. And so that 28 years of everything that you've done is going to give you the experience that you need to create meta tags on your experience to create what? Meta descriptions. It goes a little deeper than that. I'm trying to keep it simple. And see, my way ain't always the right way either because I'm self-taught besides Google stuff. And see, that's what organic is. Being able to learn things your own way, give the right sources. And all I did was listen to Google. I didn't click on no one's stuff. I didn't look at their things. I didn't do any of that. And when you hashtag Ian, believe Ian, his handle is worthless. And that's what artificial intelligence does. And so those that are smart and realize what the handles mean now, that's how everybody gets you. That's how everybody finds you. You can't run, you can't hide. I mean, I already did the city attorney. You know, here's another thing with that. I got a letter from the city attorney on September 14. I had 15 days to answer it. Well, what we did is I did some advanced algorithms, highly advanced, and I realized who the players were. So I BCC'd the 3 major players that needed to fix this. And now, when you do a hashtag or do an @ or a hashtag of Carrie C. Tipper, That's the new Denver city attorney, a Democrat, which now goes against our. You can't hire Democrats in our non-government administration. That's called the Speer Amendment. We can't do it. So every time they blatantly do this, they destroy their self-worth, their social standing, their social credit, their rankings. And with the debacle with Kelly Bro, now you see that Kelly's LinkedIn. We have videos, and these people are just not very smart. And what's coming on their end, they better worry, because it's going to be law enforcement, IRS. It's going to be everything that they've been pushing on everybody else. Those people are going to finally come knocking, but they're going to be bringing some heavy warrants, some heavy hammers, heavy bags, carry everything out. Believe me, that's what's coming. And me, I planned for all that. I've had a raid before. I know what it is. And law enforcement, that's why they're in trouble, because they all have controlling issues anyways. Because when you think about being a policeman, you're already a snitch, and you hide that snitchism under the mission of protect and serve, and yet you only serve yourselves and protect those that you feel are worthy of protection, and then you take the little kids that you don't like and you build them up into criminals. So when you watch a guy that has a certain beat, like let's take Green Valley, for instance, District 5, one of the worst neighborhoods in Denver right now in regards to gun violence. You're not hearing about this stuff because they can't keep talking about it, because then they know that Democrats are going to have to wake up and say, wait a minute, something ain't working, man. We've been doing this shit for 60 fucking years and it's just gotten worse. What is it? Well, first of all, you've been lying. Okay? We're non-political. So every time Mayor Hancock now comes out and says we are all Denver, which has been a few years now, we've been indexing them. And so what happens is, if we were in front of a judge, I could show the judge some object-oriented programming that would completely, the judge would just, he'd say unequivocally, Giovanni, I believe you. I concur. We're headed down a dead. You've convinced me based off your digital forensic evidence, with your object-oriented programming, with your voice latent prints, which I would like you to teach all law enforcement in Colorado. Yeah, they would never have to go on a beat. See, our Denver police aren't pulling anybody over. And see, for us to go and do a red light camera and do all that kind of stuff and give a person a warning, and the ones that aren't paying attention gets the ticket, no. See, what we're going to do is we're going to have what's called smart driving. We're going to take smart driving. We got this plug-in app. See, we got a lot of apps, folks. And we did this so that Denver would have digital assets. We created 80 digital assets that the City and County of Denver LLC owns. Well, they will own it. Right now, it only owns itself. That's why it's an LLC. It has no assets. But our objective is I've created 80 assets based off highly advanced algorithms of companies and services that will be needed in the future. We have socialcreditrepair.com, and that one's going to be run by the citizens of Denver. It'd be just like having a piece of property, folks. We can't see this property because it's metaverse. People paying hundreds of millions of dollars to create this stuff. I've already done it. I don't have to wait. I don't have to hire anybody. Capiche? I mean, come on, man. We can really take Denver to the next level of purity. When we start over, that's what April 4 is. Even though they moved the date, I don't like Paul Lopez at all. I think he's a scumbag, lying piece of tool that uses his brownness, Latino-ness, See, real Latinos, they don't have to tell you that they're Latino. Okay, I met some pretty badass Latinos. They mind their own business just like Asians. They take care of their own shit. They don't air out their dirty laundry. And yes, they go to church. And it's hard for them because they see a lot of bullshit around them by other people in the church. And so they realize, oh, okay, well, fuck. And we can do whatever we want on Sundays. We get to go back to church and confess our sins and go do confession. Have you done confession? I have. I'm done confession. Boy, when they see me coming, they clock the door. I got too deep with my questions, and I was 4. 4 and 5-year-olds. That's at their brightest. They're manipulating. They tend to be more manipulators, and I've seen kids with my kids and things in my life manipulate adults like you've never seen it. And see, the reason why is because the adults are not kids anymore, and they forget how they were when they were 4 and 5. That's the development stage. If they ain't got it by 7 years old, you ain't gonna get it, folks. I went to child development school. That's the one class I took just so I could be in a class of all girls, and I reached that goal. I reached it. I was the only guy with 45 girls talking about child development. Oh man. I was just wow. I got to see everything, learn everything, and everybody thought I was the man. My high school, we had 4,000 students, but yeah, that's what I did. I got to be with all the girls, watching them have babies. I mean, only I was able to do that because I love women, man. I just love all women, you know, and I just love it. I love the way they dress up. I like the way they make themselves smell and how they look cool in their shoes and all the different clothes they get to wear that we don't get to wear. That's why they're women. And see, that's what happens with little boys. They start wearing mom's clothes and then they get in the habit. Next thing you know, mom says, man, you look really good as a girl. Why don't you stay that? Because mom loves her baby no matter what that baby turns into or what they turn that baby into. Then you got DNA and all this other stuff that, and for me, most of the people I know, and there's a lot. You see that book in front of that TV right there? Hmm? That's my Bible. And it's amazing how I walk amongst the people in Denver, of the politicians that, and some of the ministers, and them. They have this holier than thou. But I can guarantee you, folks, my uncle, my mom's brother. Yes, I was adopted, so they really weren't my family. This is what some kids have told me my whole life. When they meet, like, oh, so it's not really your mom and dad? And I would pummel them because I felt it being disrespecting, and that's when I started getting the reputation as a fighter because they disrespect my white family. And then they say, but you ain't white. You see my Bible right there, folks? It's opened up at Matthew. The Old Testament, New Testament, everything that's going on right now, we're in the middle of it. And when you look at my Bible, I can go up to any scholar, like Jimmy Swagger and all these sinners, and that's what we do. We're sinners. We have to sin in order to become pure. So I stay away from those people that walk the line, that pretend they don't sin, don't cuss, throw the first stones. Those are the ones you know, man. Those stone throwers. See, I say things backwards, forwards, sideways. That's how you know I'm supposed to be here. Even with my lisp. Got in a car accident in, I don't know, I think it was like 2002. And I hit the steering wheel of my Jaguar. And I had an anterior fracture in it. caved in my 2 front teeth, almost half. That's why I talk like it's like I have a lisp. So people make fun of me. That's what happened. So I had to have my mouth wired shut for 4 weeks, folks. 4.5 weeks, actually. It's supposed to only been 3.5 weeks, but I had to go an extra week. And I was the most miserable time. Thank God I could talk with my hands. Anyway, so when you think about this whole election cycle and the whole bullshit of now we have, it's amazing because most of these people in Denver are Democrat run businesses. They own most of the real estate. And now they've gotten themselves in a predicament to where now the have-nots don't have to pay rent without getting legal representation, and all they had to do is pay rent. But for whatever reason, I've been homeless, folks. And I wouldn't tell you how many times I've been homeless. You wouldn't believe me. But that story's coming, and why I was homeless, and what my government did to me a long, long time ago, and they've gotten worse. And what my plea is we have adversaries watching us, man. In the digital world, we're in some trouble. And Denver is the only city in the fucking world that can change everything, Mayor Hancock. Michael, remember when you said, that's a good one, Giovanni? 3 times? Go ask Debbie Ortega if you forgot. Debbie Ortega thinks she's going to go against me? Huh. Oh, contraire. Debbie, I'm telling you, the digital world is coming for you. Artificial intelligence is coming for you. This ain't a threat because we don't get hurt. Because the best news for these folks is they get booted off the World Wide Web and they go into the dark web. They're getting out of the IoT, Internet of Things. But mayor's refusal to reallocate Denver Police Department budget. Excuse, we're at 65% budget for security, folks. What does that tell you? And we're record high murders, record high violent crimes. We've had our kids wearing masks that didn't fucking work. They're still trying to keep us all pinned down. And it's amazing because Denver voters don't seem to mind because they keep voting the same insane way, expecting different results. Well, in the digital world, that kind of insanity we can't tolerate. You have to get in the back of the queue. You have to get in the dark web. You want to play those games. This is where we're headed, folks. And I know because I wrote the frickin' shit. I mean, if I get angry, I'm crazy. If I talk softly, I'm not talking enough. I'm not a politician, folks. I'm a guy that's able to do predictions through wizardknowsalltellsall.com, googlecrystalball.com, supercomputers that evidently Denver's leaders are afraid to embrace to take us all to the next level of happiness, at least the pursuit of happiness, to where we can pay all of our employees, our city employees. We're going to get $30 an hour for our city employees to start. They'll start at 15 or 17, whatever the minimum wage is. But they're highly advanced. And people that have been there more than 3 years, they go to $30 an hour. And then the health insurance that they have, the city health insurance, we're going to negotiate a Cadillac insurance for you. Because when you think about how fucked up this government is and how we were able to save it from themselves because they're too embedded. They can't see the forest through the trees. They can't even see the forest through the leaves. That's how embedded these folks are. They're dug in like an Alabama tick. Have you ever seen an Alabama tick? Try to dig one of those out of your dog. I've seen it. It's just, wow. Look it up. Alabama tick. And that's what Denver is. Denver's government. They're Alabama ticks. And everybody in the city council, you know, folks, they have these apps that were banned in New York City that could predict the best employee based off all the current administrators and all their habits and all their likes and dislikes. Do you know why I hold the camera? So I can get that extra credit. Most people do, wow, that's crap, wow. Folks, I don't know how to tell you this, but I'm a fluke. I'm your brother from a different mother. And I don't even know why I was chosen my whole life to do this. And I don't have to be mayor to put all these people in a Dewey Decibel System, dark web, wormhole 2023 betterment virus. You've heard of DNA, right? Well, we do RNA, DNA content development. Conversations is the RNA, and the DNA is what we develop as far as identifiers and everything we do in object-oriented programming. And we use the final touch. There's 3 touches. You have GPS, cell phone tower, and your voice. And the voice is the new latent print that we can't see, that artificial intelligence now uses to identify every single one of us with 100% accuracy. We don't need our fingerprints anymore. And now what's happening is you have DeepMind developers that are creating these virtual machines, and they're programming them with software that is under the control of what, keep it simple, I don't know if I'll wait. Denver needs to learn things on their own and look it up like I did. I can't tell you everything, because by telling you everything, you learn nothing. You have to do your own research. And see, research is not going like these candidates, like Lisa Calderon. She's like, look, Google search Lisa Calderon shadow candidate. And there's another Lisa Calderon, and she's in California, and she's out doing the Lisa Calderon here locally. And if a judge says, well, why is that, Giovanni? Why do we have a woman congressman? Because or congresswoman, sorry. I don't know the difference anyways, because I don't see a woman. See, artificial intelligence, folks, doesn't see woman, doesn't see color, doesn't see man. Those are idiosyncrasies that people that can't develop, that can't create, no matter how hard they try, they never make it, because they're too busy stealing the content of other people as they rise up in what they try to create as their own influencer, but they can't. And on January 1, you're going to see some major stuff happen, folks. And it's amazing. When I say that, I'm probably the only one going to see it, because it's going to be very subtle. It's already happening. And you can tell by the hashtags. Do hashtag Michael B. Hancock. Hashtag Mayor Michael B. Hancock. Hashtag Mayor Hancock. These are all handles that are linked to his identification on the World Wide Web. Have you ever heard of an Edoclad doll code? This is the stuff we create. And it's funny because there's so many minds out there that think that they're doing the best thing for Denver, and they're actually doing the worst thing. And the more and more they hide, and they keep bringing in their old Democratic friends to lead that are worthless and outdated, like Kelly. Google search Candi Cde Baca. Not the hashtag, not the handle sign, which is the @ just their name. Look at the videos. I haven't embedded any of those videos on the websites. That's why you don't see, because my website's already embedded in the video. But to do the slam dunk, I need to embed that video in my websites. And I haven't done it. That's how when you look at mine, you'll see there's no thumbnail because I haven't given it one. Those are the next stages that get done as we speak by other people. And that is the digital boots I was telling uh, Jesse, mayoral candidate. Good guy, man. I love that guy, man. He'll never be mayor, at least at this particular time in his life, because he's got to come into grips with the people that he's been associated with for a long time and realize that we're non-political. And even though he switches to non-political, he just boasts and boosts the person like me up into the stratosphere of the metaverse that opens the eyes of the people that these people don't talk to. And ABC, CBS, locals, all their general sales managers, all their sales managers, they're all on a list. And I'm telling all of you that artificial intelligence is coming for your money, your identification, everything on the digital world, everything about you, it's coming for you. And it's either going to put you in the IoT or the dark web. And the dark web, you'll be dealing with people that you've been needing to be with, that you're with. It's kind of, you can't promise to eradicate, let's just say, Hickenlooper. He took a shower, drove in his brown scooter, took showers with his clothes on. Oh, he was radical. Brown scooter. But see, we had to go through this decay in order for citizens to wake up and take their keys and put them back in your pocket. Figure out where we are with our money. Get rid of some of these employees. We got a lot of employees, administrators that shouldn't be. And see, remember those applications I was telling you in New York that they banned because it doesn't fit? They can find the perfect. If a CEO says, "Yeah, I want to find 100 guys just like me," Giovanni, can you do that? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And so can other people. But see what happened in New York City? This is how you know it's about to get worse. And they don't fucking realize that shiny red apple that every one of the states of the United States need to keep shiny, so the rest of the world uses that to come and visit, and then visit all the other, our tourists, folks. They're not coming in, not the people we need. Okay? I mean, the people that are coming to the United States now are the people that are the sick, are the prisoners, the terrorists, the bad elements of breaking the law. They all broke the law to get here. They're going to continue to break the law to stay here. That's a fact, brother. That's a fact. And now they're building all these homes, all these big apartment complexes to stick these refugees in these apartments so they can work in restaurants, so that we can be guilt because we're pulling into McDonald's and we have a person speaking broken English. We can barely understand. You want taco, Dad? What? You want to get taco? What? No, I want a number 5. Oh, cinco. No, I said 5. What's cinco? This is what's coming. And that's why now what's happening is the DACA babies. This is what the Democrats are doing. This is what Lisa Calderon's doing. Candi Cde Baca. All the worthless. I mean, folks, the Paul Cashman is the most worthless man alive. He is worthless. All of them are. I can show you the algorithms of everybody. I could go on TV and just hook you up to my desktop and you guys would just be dropping your fucking jaws instead of dropping your drawers. Getting bent by all these smooth talking, outdated, now verified handles. And they go backwards. On January 1, they're going to wake up. They're either going to be in the IoT or the dark web. And then in the dark web they're going to, you don't need any type of codes or passwords or any of that. It's a new system. And I know because I created it. How do you like that, Candi? How do you like that, Lisa? You girls are just humble braggers that have been taught bullshit your whole lives. And you've used nothing but victimhood, color, sexual orientation, and any other bad things that you feel that you couldn't survive because you'll get a job with. Who knows? But, you know, Lisa Calderon, you'd think you'd be smarter than this. And Leslie Herod, think she'd be smart. Debbie, Kelly, look at these women. Folks, they're the most outdated, vicious women's club I have ever indexed in my life. And when you see what they've done to this state based off their laws that they all humble brag, even the new city attorney that was she was a deputy attorney under Kristen Bronson. Now Carrie C. Tipper is the new, look at folks, she's Democrat. So now they're plastering it. So her career's over because now she's taken over a city government that won't honor its own amendment. And yet we have on the ballot amendment, excuse me, to fix our sidewalks. Excuse me, my asthma is really bad today. Anyways, I don't take medication. I don't do anything. I just, and the marijuana in this town is the worst marijuana I've ever had in my entire life. It gets worse and worse. They're putting more chemicals and it causes more wheezing. So I don't smoke as much weed as I used to, which is good because you can overdo it, just like eating cheesecake. That's how I got my double chin, even though I'm a pretty healthy guy. You can't hide the butter and sour cream and those kind of things that I just love to eat, and I earned it. And I'm not embarrassed. This is what I did. I ate sour cream. I used to eat a lot of McDonald's and Burger King until my cholesterol and all my blood work came out. Like, wow. So I cut all that back and I got off all my medications. I have to take blood pressure medication. So I'm letting everybody know because I'm old. And all the food I ate fucked my life up. Because the clown and Ronald McDonald, the Jack in the Box, the Taco Bell, and the $2 burrito filled with nothing but stuff to make your ass get huge. And so that's what parents are feeding all their kids to get fluffy. And if you say anything about fluffy kids, then you're a body hater, race hater, and then what we see, like doctors see, is those kids growing up being in those commercials that you see on TV for every disease you can imagine. And they're all having fun and having parties, and yet I don't look like any of them people, man. And I don't want to look like those people. And I'm not saying nothing bad about those people, but what's sad is that they're going to suffer with things that when they get older, that they don't need to, they could just die in their sleep. Instead, they're going to die of diabetes, heart disease, all these foods that they've been eating, they've been feeding their children. And you can see the people on food stamps sometimes at Walmart or that. They got the 3 carts. And they're huge, and their kids are huge. And you look in their carts, and it's nothing but donuts and cookies and, oh, phew. So as far as when you think about Denver Health and Human Services, their nutritional people need to be fired. You just take a look at the kids and what they're eating, and it's all bamboozled. They all have, you think, what do they all have? stock in these pharmaceutical companies? See, we don't ask these questions. How many senators have stock in gas right now? How many senators have stock? And as they get rich and as they sit there and as they age because they can't figure out all, look at the senators, man. There's only a couple of them that would even be able to be on a cover of a magazine for gym fitness. And that's why I like the mayor candidate in Colorado Springs. They're doing everything right, man. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised, and I've seen the algorithms where there's people. Colorado Springs should have been the capital city, but they were managed to pull Denver out of. They were managed to pull Denver into it because of the just logistics. But logistics had nothing to do with. They have nothing to do with it. But there's a mayoral candidate running Air Force. He's a badass dude. He's a man, and his color, his size, his sexual orientation has no bearing in the true world of artificial intelligence. You can either do what you say you can do or you can't. You either went to Paris or you didn't go to Paris. You either went to the Super Bowl or you didn't go to the Super Bowl. So, like, if you're an author and you're telling everybody, yeah, I went to your friends, I went to the Super Bowl, and I posted these pictures up on the internet, and, oh, and you just pulled everything out of the internet. And now all your friends are like, man, did you got pictures? How come there's no pictures of you, actually? Well, I'm taking all the pictures. Oh, that makes sense. Well, great job, man. Hope you had fun. Baseball, folks, it happens with everything. Music, people stealing music, candidates, especially candidates, they're on a list. We have a higher standard to live on the digital world. And when you got people like Lisa Calderon and Denver Wright, Colorado Public Radio, that the president DeWitt, his whole entire financial in the next couple of years is going to be downfall. He'll be like broke because he can't get on the internet, and he's already connected. So we think that remember when they came in and they were going after all the communist people and they were blackballing them and all that kind of stuff. Well, now those communist people, children are the ones running the government now, and all the entertainment and all Disneyland and all these big conglomerates that think that they are above artificial intelligence. And this is how, when we had the big conglomerates back in the day all closed down, like, just look at all the big stores, man, that are closed down, that are no more. J.C. Penney, we used to have Sears and Roebuck, are they still around? No, they've been replaced. They're dinosaur thinkers. So when you think like a dinosaur, you end up in the oil pits, man. In the oil pits of the digital oil pits on the World Wide Web are one that are so thick that you ain't gonna be able to. There's no nerd wallet. There's no humble bragging app that you can call and say, can you put it? This new report come out where Denver's number one for inflation. Can you like put out some ads that we're the best place to live and that we have the lowest inflation? That's what they do, folks. Nerd Wallet. You got all these apps coming in, stealing this blind. You've got all these news agencies, and they have the right to, but we have a right to protect it. We have a right, and that's what I can do, folks. I can get into the back end. Once I'm mayor, that gives me a different authority level. Now I can contact Google and get to the bottom of some things that I know about. Now I can contact YouTube and get things taken care of that I need to take care of to set it straight for Denver, because it has these two algorithms have to be set straight in order for Denver to thrive. And the only way to get this is to be
a government official that not only knows how to fix it, that can go in and fix it and show them how to fix it. We don't have to hire anybody. That's a super administrator. If you Google search super administrator Marcus Giovanni, you'll get an idea of where we're going. We have to do more with less. You know what I mean?